Dear friends, welcome to this week's edition of the Inspired Parsha. This week we have the incredible privilege to read through Parshas Bamidbar. And like every Parsha, there's so many beautiful, rich ideas, but I want to just focus on one. This Parsha is known as like the census Parsha, so to speak, where it talks a lot about counting the Jewish people. So listen to this verse. It's in Bamidbar chapter 1, verse 52. It says, "The children of Israel shall encamp, each man by his own camp, each man by his division." So why is there such an emphasis on each man in his own camp, each man by his own division? What's that emphasis there for? The whole idea of this counting was mostly just to count the Jewish people collectively as a whole. So listen to what the Lubavitcher Rebbe says. The Lubavitcher Rebbe says something beautiful. He says, the emphasis over here is each man by his own camp. You know, the Jewish people, and each man by his own division, the Jewish people, as we know, were divided basically into 12 tribes. Each of those tribes were known to have specific strengths that the other one did not have, specific talents that the other ones did not have. So the emphasis over here is that each person should express their own individuality, but at the same time recognize that they're part of a collective whole. You know, so many people get caught up only in one of these two things. Either they only look at themselves as, you know, part of the collective whole, and they, so to speak, they become like cookie cutter of every other type of Jew, every other type of person around them. They lose their sense of individuality. But other people do the opposite. They only focus on their own individuality, expressing their own unique creativity, their own talents, and they start to forget that they're also part of a collective whole. The verse over here with Lubavitcher Rebbe is explaining is that each of us should remember both sides, the dual purpose, so to speak, that we each have. We all should express our own individuality. We all are part of our own we all have our own unique strengths. But also, remember that we are part of a collective whole. Remember that we are part of the Jewish people as a whole. You know, one of my favorite parables was from Rabbi Akiva Tatz. He used to always say that, imagine that you come to this giant construction site, and at this construction site, you don't know what to do. All of a sudden, you look at the floor and you see you have a little toolbox over there. And you look inside the toolbox, and there is a hammer, a nail, screws, let's say. And then the person next to you has a different toolbox. They have brick and mortar and things, cement, different types of things, and the person next to them has different types of wood, different types of metal, different types of plastic. Each person has their own unique toolbox, and the mission of the collective whole is to, of course, build that beautiful facility, that beautiful construction site, so to speak, which is another way of saying making this world into a better, more beautiful place. So I want to bless everyone over here with remembering this dual role, remembering that we are part of a collective whole to make the Jewish world and the world in general into a better place, but also remember that we each have our own individuality, we each have our own strengths and talents to help make that world into a better place. I want to thank you so much for listening, wishing everyone here a wonderful Shabbos.